Hey everybody, it's me! Uh, just doing a short little vlog today. Wanted to talk about just a couple things. This weekend was kind of like an impromptu mini vacation. We'd kind of had it planned, but it was still just kind of a wing it thing. And we ended up going out to the casino. Harrah's out in Cherokee. And I had intended to put aside some money and stuff so that I'd have a bit of cash to gamble with and just have fun and stretch out through the night. Stuff happened. I didn't end up putting aside as much as I wanted to. Ended up actually only having about $40. Now, going into a casino, $40 may not seem like a lot of money, but I ended up doing fairly well with $40 and ended up getting a lot out of it. So I managed to take that $40. We got there, I guess, around a little after 5, maybe somewhere closer to 6. And we stayed until at least midnight, probably some after. I don't even remember at this point. But managed to play pretty much the whole time off of that $40. We ended up doing a lot of the penny slots, and one in particular, actually two in particular, ended up doing really well for me. One was this weird stampede or something like that. Basically, the way it works, you put your money in, and the slot, depending on what type of game it is, like they have video poker, they have slots, they have slots with like bonus games and stuff. It's a little hard to explain without seeing it. But basically, you pick the number of lines that you want to play on, and they've got like little diagrams that show, like, if you match 5 things this way, or it can do like a little diagonal thing, or it can go this way and then down and then this way and stuff like that. Most games have anywhere from like 30 to 100 lines or something that you can play the game on, and then you bet either like 1 credit per line, or however many. Some of them go up to like 20, some of them go up to 50. There's a lot of variation in it. It's basically just however many credits you play times whatever the multiplier is for the line that you match and the items that you match, and stuff like that. So I ended up sitting down at this one called Stampede that one of my friends that wanted to go with us wanted to play, but she had left one of her things over at the last game that she played at, so she ran over to get it, and I sat down so nobody else would come over and take her spot, because it was kind of busy. You're at a casino on the weekend, it's going to be a little bit busy. Wasn't nearly as busy as when we went for New Year's, and we ended up staying all night, and that was a huge crowd, and I don't do well with a lot of people. It was so bad on New Year's. There was several points where we were trying to go to another part of the casino, and you would go out to like the main aisle, and it was just this constant like river of bodies, and you would end up just like hopping in where you could fit, and then you just kind of went with the current of people, and just got sucked off to wherever it was. And hopefully you could jump out in time to go where you wanted to go. It was not that difficult this go around. We were able to get around the casino fairly well, and there was 4 of us this time, me, my wife, and 2 of our friends. So I sat down at the one that she wanted to play, and I tossed some money in, just because I wanted to check it out. At face value, I don't really like the slot machines a whole lot, but they do get kind of fun when they're really intricate. Like there's ones where you can get like weird bonus games and stuff that'll pop up, and those are the ones that I like to play. I sat down in this one and ended up just like first or second bet hit pretty big, and I ended up like doubling my money. And then we went to another machine, and I sat down, and I wasn't real sure what was different about this one than the other one. Again, it was another one that had like a bunch of lines and stuff. But I put my money in, and I spun twice, and I activated something, and it just started throwing credits at me. And then it unlocked this thing where I got to pick a certain number of free games, and each one had like a multiplier. So there was multiplier. So there was one that was like 10 bonus games at times 3, 20 at times 4, 5 at times 5. And I ended up doing 25 free games at a times 2 multiplier. And so it just started spinning these free games for me. And it kept hitting not like the jackpot, but it kept hitting like this one combination of things that gave out like 4 to 1,000 credits, and then multiplying it, I hit one that get like 10,000 credits or something like that. And I ended up pulling like $170 out of that one machine off of one play. And we kind of had like a rule amongst us, as we were playing, if we hit like a large amount, we would pull our voucher and go cash it out and like put the money away and then just play on like the original 20 or 40 or whatever that we had. And that's how we managed to like stretch it out through the night. So we did that for a little while. Ended up cashing that out, putting most of it in my pocket. And then we went to dinner. My friend got us reservations at like the Ruth's Chris restaurant in the casino. And so we went and we sat down for a little while and we had a couple drinks, and I had a nice, really big steak. It was like 22 ounces, and my buddy gave me one of his lamb chops that were really good. And it had this, they served it with this weird like mint jelly. It's the only way I could just, it had like the consistency of like a really soft Jello or a jelly, but it was mint flavored. And both of us were like, that just seems kind of weird for lamb chops. You know, normally you do like butter and garlic and maybe some onion and stuff like that. But the lamb was like marinated overnight in like a special marinade that they did. And then they served it with this mint jelly stuff that you were supposed to smear on it. And it seemed kind of weird, but I ended up tasting it, and it wasn't bad. The mint was really, really strong. And by itself, it wasn't all that appetizing. Like, I wouldn't just like eat mint jello or anything, because that would have been terrible. But putting a little bit of it on the lamb as I was eating, it was actually really good. The sweet and the mint really went with the flavors of the meat. So I have to give a shout out to the guys in the kitchen that came up with that pairing. Because that, as weird as it seemed, actually ended up being really good. It wouldn't be something that I would want on like a regular basis. Like, I don't want all of my lamb from now on to come with mint jelly. But it wasn't bad. I was kind of into it. And we had some weird like martini drinks. They were like blackberry sidecars, I think, or something like that. I don't know. We just kind of ordered whatever and had a good meal. Don't even want to talk about how much the bill was, and thankfully our friend treated us. So we're gonna have to like get him back some way. But he was in like full vacation mode this weekend. Like, he had actually apparently been of his own accord planning like a casino trip anyway. And when we said that we wanted to do it as a group, he was just like, yeah, we'll do it this weekend or blah blah blah. And he came with us. So he wasn't really caring how much he was spending. He brought a lot of money to waste at the casino, and succeeded. And so after dinner, the girls went up to the hotel room to do God knows what, and had some girl time. And me and my buddy went to the blackjack tables. Now, this was actually really fun for me, and we got a really cool dealer. I think his name was Chad. Yeah, I think it was Chad, or Charlie, something with a CH. That's all I remember. I had been drinking. And he was super nice, and he was explaining how the betting and everything worked, because we had never played like at a table before. Like, I've just played like on the computer or on like a video game or something, where the rules are a little bit different, and the computer kind of handles all the betting and stuff for us. But we had like the buy-in, and then we had like a little side bet going. If like certain cards popped up, you would get money back. And we hit that a couple times on like 21s, and that was pretty cool. And ended up doing really well playing blackjack because it was just the two of us at the table at first. And I got dealt like 3 or 4 blackjack straight up, and then like a couple hands where I hit into 21. And at one point I got up to like $60 or $70 off of just a $20 buy-in on a $15 table. And I started to walk away from the table, but a friend wanted to keep playing, and he was going through games pretty quickly. He put down like a couple hundred to play with, and I got tired of standing there, and I sat back down, and some other people had come to the table, and that was just a bad idea. I should have just walked away when I did and cashed out the chips. But the game was fun, and the atmosphere at the table was really cool. The people that sat down were cool. There were 2 that sat beside me that were also new, and so we were all just like joking around and having a good time. And then like a card shark dude showed up, and I don't know. It felt like the atmosphere changed when this guy showed up, because this is a $15 buy-in table. Not very expensive bets, and he comes over and just sets down like $300 in chips to buy his way into the table. And instead of doing the $15 bet per hand that we were all doing, he was betting like 20 to 50 a hand. And when you play blackjack at a table, you don't play against the other people. You're always playing against the dealer. So it's not like I was going to lose money to this guy. But I don't know, it felt uncomfortable when he got there, and I didn't want to, being new, I didn't want to play with somebody that clearly knew what he was going on and had way more money to throw around than I was comfortable playing with. So we played a couple more hands. I ended up losing some. It actually got kind of frustrating because when we first sat down, I was getting dealt the first set of cards each hand, and then 2 people sat to the right of me, and they started getting the top deal because, he deals in order, and all the good deals started going to the first guy instead of me. And so my pot steadily dwindled from the $60 back down to the $20 that I had. I actually only ended up with like $15 in chips, and I decided to just pocket those and go on. The girls were calling, trying to find where we were at anyway. So we walked away, and we went back and played some more slots, and it was just a really fun night. We went to another machine. I went to this one. It was like Groucho Marx themed, and if you matched up certain things, it would pay out like a normal slot machine. But it had this little rubber duck that would pop up on some of the reels, and if he was in one of the things that you got a scoring line on, he would give you a bonus, and sometimes he would unlock mini games. And I put like $20 into that one and played for a while, and it wasn't like hitting big wins, but it was like it's not like it was hot, but it was like a warm game, and it kept like steadily building up a little bit, and I hit a couple bonus rounds on a big bet and started like racking in points, and I think I got back up to like $100, and I pulled my voucher out, but my wife had been trying to get to this like fishing themed game beside the Groucho game all night, and it finally opened up, and she had sat down and playing, and I didn't want to like make her come with me to cash out tickets and stuff since she just sat down. So I went to the machine on the other side of her, just try to change things up a bit. And that machine wasn't anywhere near as lucky for me. I ended up burning it back down to like $30 and then pulling it out. And we went to another machine and just kind of wasted time. At that point, I had more than doubled the amount of money that I brought with me and pocketed it all. I had something like $140 in my pocket from what I had won, and still had money that I was playing around with. So we hopped around and played a couple other machines just to see what they were. I played one that was like witchcraft themed, and one that had like dragons and stuff. And I tried to play this Little Red Riding Hood one that my friend had got a big win off of earlier. And just to see what other games were there for that I might want to play the next time we go. And just burnt down the last $20 or whatever that I had. just in weird games. I got it down to where I had like 43 cents left on my voucher, and I ended up just handing that to the lady that was sitting beside me at one of the machines and let her add it to hers, because there wasn't any point in cashing out 43 cents. But it was enough that she could have played like a round or two on a low bet with it. So I let her have some fun, have the little extra cash, and we ended up coming home for the night. And that was just a super fun night. I actually had something else other than going to the casino that I wanted to talk about, and now I don't remember what the hell it was at all. Yeah, I got no clue. So anyway, we had a fun night at the casino, and we ended up, our friends stayed there the night. My one friend that bought us dinner got a room at the casino, and rooms there are really expensive, but like I said, he was in total vacation mode, so he got his room there, and our other friend just like crashed on the couch in his room, but we wanted to come home because we didn't make arrangements to have anybody feed the cat or anything, so we drove home. We got home at like, I want to say it was like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and pretty much just went straight to bed. Like, we were both exhausted. Beck hadn't slept much the night before, and was only running on a couple hours of sleep. And then after we ate and had some drinks, she got really, really tired. I think she might have even nodded off a couple times in the car on the drive home, because it's like an hour and a half to get from where the casino's at to our house. So it was a little bit of a long drive, but not too bad. It's something that you can do on a weekend. You can even make a day trip out of it. I think the casino's open 24/7. So people can kind of just go whenever, which is really fun. When we went on New Year's, it was the first time I'd ever like gone to a casino. Me and the wife took a cruise for my birthday one year, not too long after we met. It was something I wanted to do for me. And it was back when I was working, ridiculous hours at this one job, and I ended up having like a lot of money stockpiled, and I wanted to do something big for my birthday, so I bought cruise tickets and took her with me. It was really early in our relationship. Like, we had met in like October, November, and then my birthday was the following June. So we hadn't really been dating that long, and then I was just like, hey, do you want to go to the Bahamas with me? And so kudos for her for sticking around and not thinking that was super creepy or anything. Like I was going to take her out in the ocean and kill her and throw her in the sea or some shit. So we ended up having a nice relationship out of it. But on the boat, there was a casino, and I went in and I walked around, but I didn't actually do anything there because it was the first time I'd been on a cruise or anything. I didn't know how to plan that vacation at all. I was just like, yeah, I got tickets. I paid like a bunch of money for it. Everything's included, right? I just get on the boat and everything's just there because rich people. Yeah? No, not how it went at all. So I didn't do anything in the casino there, but I'd walk around and look at it. So this going at New Year's to Harrah's was like the first time I'd gone to a casino to actually gamble and do stuff. And it was a weird concept to me because it's not something that I think of or thought of before as something that I could just do for fun. Like, I always thought casinos were for people with like a lot of money, and I mean, really they kind of are. If you have a lot of money, you can go in there and you can play a lot. But this last time that we went really showed me that even if you don't have a whole lot of money, you can still go in there for several hours and have fun. And still get a lot done. Like, we played, like I said, we were there a good 6 hours at least. And I only took $40 in and ended up coming home with more money than I brought. So, it's definitely something that I'll want to do again in the future. Especially with how close it is to us. We can, like I said, just make a day trip out of it if we want to. There's other hotels in the area that we could stay at if we wanted to make it like a whole weekend thing, that are much cheaper than staying at the actual casino. So I'm excited about doing it because, like I said, I've learned that I could have fun without spending a whole lot of money. But I want to take more money next time just so I could play more of the table games because there's like all sorts of different kinds of poker and blackjack and roulette and stuff like that, that had like bigger buy-ins. We were just playing on the cheap $15 table because that's what I could afford to buy in on. And I honestly didn't expect to play as many hands there as I did. I just kept getting lucky. But next time I go, I want to bring like a couple hundred and just see what I can do with that. Like if I can get that much out of $40, maybe I can get a lot more out of it, or maybe I waste it all. Who knows? It's gambling. You never know for sure that you're going to make any money or lose any money. But it's something really fun to do. I remembered the other thing I was going to talk about today. It's been about a week now since I started doing the scheduling thing, where I kind of break out my days into specific times and stuff like that. I just held that up upside down. Doesn't really matter. If you want to see a little bit more of what I'm talking about, there's a kind of life scheduling video that I did a couple videos ago. I've been doing it about a week now, and a couple things that I've noticed is it is actually helping a lot with my day-to-day stress level. Before, I had everything kind of written down. I had like this constant stress on me, trying to figure out like, okay, I'm at work, I come home and I have just X amount of time before I go to bed, but there's like 30 things that I want to do. I have to make dinner also, and I got to do this, and I've got to edit the podcast and blah, blah, blah. And it added like extra stress to me that I don't need. I already have to deal with anxiety and depression from time to time and insomnia and work stress as it is. And then coming home and trying to figure out how to do all the things that I actually want to do in my day, just added a lot of stress to it. I found, though, since putting everything down on paper and kind of giving myself something that I can look at and go, okay, it's 8 o'clock on Tuesday, I should be doing this, or it's 6 o'clock on a Monday, I should be doing this. Having something written down like that has actually helped a lot, and I'm feeling a lot less stressed out day to day, and I'm going to bed more relaxed, and I'm not having as many bouts with insomnia, even in just a week's time. It's made a huge change. So if anybody watching has been having trouble with that sort of thing, where you feel like you don't know how to get everything done after you get off work and before you go to bed without having to stay up till god-awful hours in the morning and then not getting any sleep and going to work tired, try scheduling your days out. Come up with like a loose time frame for things. Move stuff around if you find you're not allotting enough time for certain activities on certain days. I've probably got a couple things that I'm going to adjust on mine, but this so far has been pretty spot on as a good jumping off point for it. But try it out. I feel like it's helped a lot with my stress, and it may help you guys too. And so if there's any other scheduling ideas that you guys come up with, let me know in the comments below. If you've tried the live scheduling thing since my last video and you think that it's working for you or not working for you, let me know. Curious to see if anybody else is experiencing the same thing I am, in terms of like stress and anxiety relief and getting a lot more things done. I've got actual time that I can sit down and do a video almost every day. Certain days of the week I go off somewhere else when I get off of work and I can't come home and record. But for most part, I can get a couple videos out. I've got some Let's Plays started with the XCOM game that I'm going to do another video for soon. I've been able to do more vlogs and just kind of sit down and talk for a little bit, which also kind of helps me unwind too, because my brain is really active and I'll think about a lot of things, especially as the day draws to a close, and my brain will sometimes get too busy to go to sleep, and I'll lay there thinking. And I found just sitting down and talking about random stuff, even if it's only just a couple things like going to the casino and talking about scheduling, it's clearing a lot of the stuff out of my head and letting me wind down a little bit easier. And I've been finding it easier to go to sleep at night. So that's super cool. So I'm curious to see if anything like that's happening for you guys. Also, if you have any cool casino stories, if you've ever gone to a casino and won really big or lost a whole bunch of money or whatever, just let me know in the comments below. Maybe we can share some stories or blackjack strategies or something. But as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.